Welcome to Keep It Simple with Brian McMullen. That's me. Today we're going to be talking to Raz Mihalyi. He is a engineer. He has a full career doing that, but he on the side has decided to go outside the box and do something amazing. He has a company called Creative Listings. If you know anything about Zillow, it's it's the creative real estate Zillow, for that lack of a better term. And he is doing amazing things. He's a great guy. He's very inquisitive, very smart. And I just love meeting him, spending some time with him. So today you're going to get a good dose of Raz Mihalyi, and you're going to love it. Thanks. Let's do this. Welcome to Keep It Simple with Brian McMullen and Raz Mihalyi. Raz, thank you for coming on today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. It's great to be here.
There we go. Well, I'm gonna do myself and you a favor. I'm gonna
Okay.
try to not do what I do worse, which is talk over people. So I keep watching my own videos, going, "Wait, don't do that." So
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
it's
work
your
on that.
podcast. You can do whatever you want, right?
No, this podcast is about you, baby. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So, I tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. You know, your personal life, your business life. What are you doing? You know, who are you hanging out with?
I'm hanging out with you.
I love it.
That's actually how we met up, right? Hanging out at some meetup in Scottsdale. So yeah, I'm hanging out with cool people. Yeah, so a little bit about me. I have a background in software engineering. That's where I'm currently still active and in my W-2. And about 3 years ago, I got hooked on real estate investing. I hear that I'm 20 years early to real estate investing compared to you.
Okay,
But that's
okay, yeah, bring
yeah.
it, bring it.
But we can talk about that some more. Yeah, and I started looking around for resources on how to get started in real estate. And fortunately, we had my wife and I had some friends, and also our upbringing was such that we grew up with Kiyosaki's books, and my wife's
Yeah.
family is entrepreneurial. They own their business, and they had multiple businesses for the past 3 decades or so, and we always had that kind of thing in the back of our minds that we need to do this. But it was about the finding the right time, and the time in our lives when we were kind of more settled, and
Wait,
yeah,
wait. Do you have kids?
yeah, that
So when you
that that
mean
was the,
when
that was the settling part, like.
I was saying, if you meant before when you were more settled, that's what you meant. You had kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When we could actually sleep and have have adult conversations again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we jumped in, and we didn't know anything about real estate investing other than we want to do it. And it's funny, my wife keeps joking about that, how I was actually looking for another house for us, another primary residence, because we were outgrowing the one that we had. It was our starter home, and she caught me on Zillow or Redfin at some point looking at properties in our city, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I told her, like, "I'm looking for a bigger house for us." And I'm like, "That's dumb. You should look for an investment home, not a bigger house for us to live in." So I was like,
Kudos to your wife. I
"I know,
love
right?"
that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what pushed me to start looking at investment opportunities. And this was during COVID. And during COVID, the hot thing was Airbnbs, right? That was booming, that was exploding. And we actually have a few friends who are realtors in Florida. and they were telling us all the stories about the money that you can make here, and like, look at all these average daily rates, and let me tell you about this thing called AirDNA that shows you how much money an Airbnb can make, and it's so good. You just,
All the things.
yeah, come and buy it. It's gonna be simple, they said. So yeah. Anyway, we went down that path and kind of just jumped and said, okay, it's time to do it. Let's do it. We found the property. My wife flew there. She saw it. She liked it. And we got it under contract. Our realtor friend helped us negotiate and everything. It was a traditional deal. Use an investment loan, get it. And my wife started managing it. And of course, she was very much in love with the whole process of, it was in Florida at the time. We were in Seattle, so we had to travel, enjoy the nice weather, go to the beach when we weren't
Yes,
putting together furniture and all that. But she enjoyed the process of setting it up, designing it, and
I love it.
then, yeah, when it came to setting it up for actual tenants and stuff like that, she was very into that. We stumbled upon some YouTube channels that were essentially teaching you how to run an STR, because that was huge,
Yeah,
and it was, there were a bunch of influencers who were doing that. I think they're still doing that.
of course.
And she got hooked on that. She's like, wow, I really like this. There was a community aspect to it. So she started, collaborating with other people, asking them what they're doing, like what services are you using, and all that stuff. So she really loved it, and she's like, okay, let's do this. This is our path to entrepreneurship. And
By the way, that's exactly what I didn't do. The I didn't do exactly the same exit strategy. I was long-term rentals, and I still
okay,
am. I some of these exit strategies that some of these people are talking about just scare me, and I
hmm,
personally like it a little simpler.
yeah, yeah,
um, but
you like to keep it
but for
simple.
me, it's the same thing. It's like, wait, I could pick this up. I could learn this. I don't
Yeah,
have to be a real estate guru. I can just learn this slowly over time. And then you mentioned the one thing that you mentioned. I don't know if you said the words, but action. I want to take some action. And I think that's one thing that in real estate I find is the most important thing. It's not knowledge. I mean, of course, we want not knowledge. It's not even exit strategy. We want to know that it's taking some action and just stepping. And your wife was in it. I love it.
yeah. I mean, I would add to that. I would say that a lot of people are saying take action, and it's absolutely valuable. But it's also important to take action,
Carefully.
with some guardrails in place, and that's actually
that's
what we
that's
did.
why I'm not a good SDR fan. I
Yeah.
definitely like my long term.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I totally get that. But we like the cash flow on SDRs as well, and
Yeah,
we said that, look, if this doesn't work, can it actually work as a long-term rental? And we just convert it. And since the answer was yes,
beautiful.
we said, okay, let's do it. Right. Worst case, we
Nothing better
fall
than
back.
two exit strategies. Only thing that's better than two exit strategies is three exit strategies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know.
I love it.
Yeah, then we didn't know co-living at the time, so now we we might be looking at that as well if
Yeah,
we were to continue down that path.
yeah,
But yeah, so that's actually how we started, and she launched it, she ran it. I set up everything in the back end so that we have a property management system in place, and automate as much as possible as far as the operations, like new guest books. They get an automatic code sent to
yeah.
them, like all that
I love
stuff.
that.
Yeah, and once we ran this for a little bit, and it was still during COVID. It was still okay. We're like, okay, we want to do more of this. Like, maybe we build a property management company and we start doing this for others, because why not?
Yeah,
And the constraint there when you buy traditionally immediately comes in terms of, okay, but I'm not going to be able to get another loan on this, right? If they're looking at my DTI or whatever. And that's when I stumbled upon this world of creative financing, and how I got interested in it. It was because this influencer who was teaching us how to run an Airbnb essentially had a collaboration with Pace Morby on a video where Pace helped him buy a property for like $30,000-$40,000 out of pocket, right? So we're like, whoa, you can do this and you can take over someone's mortgage? Like, what is that? So I just, again, I went full in on that. I got into Pace's paid community without telling my wife. She was she was like, "You did what?"
No comment. No comment.
Yeah.
I think your middle
Right,
name
you do
is
the
is
same.
full. Your middle name in my brain is full in, all in, man.
Again, some guardrails, right? You know.
Well, what's fun, the thing about it is, everything. I think people who aren't doing something different, and again, we happen to be talking about real estate. You and I are both the real estate into that, so that happens to be a topic today. But it doesn't have to be real estate. But you don't have to be all in and reckless and gambling. It's not like that. You can go in. For me, I bought my first home in Memphis, Tennessee, for
Oof.
$75,000, and the down the closing costs, the down payment, a little bit of rehab was 20 grand. I was in 20 grand for my first property, and I did
Mhm.
that, and because it was only 20 grand, I could feel like I can do it and feel comfortable that I'm not losing my behind. So you can do this with baby steps, or with bigger steps, and just a lot of protection. You don't have to gamble. Let's just say that.
Right, right, right. Yeah, we have a bit of a story with Memphis. How's your property doing there? Did you still
Oh,
have it?
yeah, I have eight.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I started off the way I could start off. I'm not I, my wife will kick my butt if she hears me say this, but I'm not the smartest guy in the room. And so how does the guy who knows that he's not the smartest guy in the room start something and do it carefully?
You
So I
partnered with
bought my
someone?
first property, what they call turnkey, right?
Okay.
It was
Mm-hmm.
already done. I think I needed to, fix a door or something like
Fine.
that, right? And so the property man that got people who did most of the work in turnkey could manage it for me. So I like, okay, one shop, one place to shop, and it was good. And it's still good, by the way. I still own the property, and it's still cash flowing 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I am, I love that property. I did it two more times with the turnkey guys. And I'm like, okay, I think I had it at that point $70,000 total for three properties. And I'm like, okay, this is good, but at some point I'm going to run out of money. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I said that my fourth property, my fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh properties were cash purchases. The Burr strategy, right? Buy it
Mm-hmm.
cash, fix it up, with my own money, and refinance it, and I got all my money back out. I'm like, okay, I like this. And then I did that a few more times, and then I sold my business.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happens to banks who are lending you money 10 times in a matter of a year and a half? What happens to them when they find out that you just sold your business after 25 years?
They call you.
They do not like me all of a sudden. All of a sudden, the people who are harassing me to lend me money all of a sudden didn't want to. And that's why I found the creative, because I had to, because I'm like, wait, I'm not done buying, but
Mm-hmm.
but the banks aren't helping me. How do I do this
Yeah.
now? And that's how I came
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Pace
Yeah.
Morby is one of the people I came to for that. So,
Right. Right.
but you are doing something way bigger than me, I think. Anyways, you have tied your profession, your W-2, your educated mind into real estate on another level than just having a portfolio, didn't you?
A little
I
bit.
think they
Yeah.
call. I think it's called what's that little thing? Creative listings.
Yeah. Creative
By the
listing.
way,
Yeah.
I happen to have four properties on creative listings right now, trying to
Awesome.
figure out how to use it. And I literally the other day knew I did something wrong, and I texted your partner
Yeah. Nice.
because I do business with your partner. I don't know if you know
Yeah. Yeah. I
that.
know. I know. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
And so I texted her and I said, Ingrid, I need help. And she's like, just do this. I'm like, oh, and I didn't, of course, didn't answer for 3 hours because all of a sudden I was off and running, doing my thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about what you're trying to accomplish with creative listing, because to me, it's going to be massive.
Yeah, well, that's how we think about it too, and we're definitely working on doing that, on growing it. So creative listing is essentially a marketplace. Think of it as a Zillow or Redfin equivalent for these types of transactions that we've been talking about. Creative transactions where you can purchase properties on seller finance, or you can purchase them by taking over payments on a mortgage, what is referred to as subject to, and a variety of other transactions that are non-traditional, non-standard, hence creative. So yeah, we launched this platform in June, early July, and it's free for everyone to use. We've grown from 0 users when we were in at the beginning of July to last we checked a few days ago, we were at 45,000 users on the platform.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's great to see the adoption. We are, of course, I mean, it's still for software that is launched 6 months ago. It's still very early innings. We have a big roadmap ahead where we're constantly adding new features, getting the feedback from the users, and bringing that in. So, it's still rough around the edges. I'm not,
Yeah.
totally super proud of it yet, but there's definitely potential there. It solves a big problem for buyers who want to find those properties where, maybe like you said, you sold your business and no bank will give you a loan. So what can you do, right?
Right.
Well, this can solve that problem where you can see all the properties in a zip code or in an area that you're interested in, and the moment that you create a profile and you specify your what's referred to as a buy box, right? Your criteria for the home, right? Maybe it's a 3 bed, a 4 bed. What is the square footage that you want? What is the payment amount that you can afford? And once you put all this information in, whenever there's a property that fits that, you will get
Yeah.
notified. So you can, pretty much like Zillow or Redfin or all these other platforms where you can specify some preferences. The only difference is that those platforms don't have these listings, right? You just have traditional listings with the real estate agent that you buy off a bank.
I can't tell you a little story.
Yeah.
I For some reason I thought I was going to sell this property in Pittsburgh. By the way, if anybody wants to buy a single family home in Pittsburgh, I got you. Let's go. Give me a call.
Turnkey? Is
But
it
yeah,
turnkey?
but I was sorry.
Is it turnkey?
Yeah, I
There you
rehabbed
go.
it. It's ready to go.
That's how you
But
started, right? That's how
but
you.
I didn't understand creative listening at first because I'm again old guy trying to focus on other things, and so I got a realtor, which is fine. I mean, it's good, right? But I said to the realtor, I said, this property's not moving. We're into the winter time. I
Mhm.
said, why don't you market the property? Create, that we can do creative, maybe a wrap or
Mhm.
lease,
Lisa.
finance, something like that. And she says, "Oh, I can't." And I'm like, "Oh, you can't?" She says, "Yeah, my broker won't let me do, advertise wrap or advertise lease to own." I'm like,
Right.
"Okay, then why don't you just put it in the ad, put a creative, listing. So, not your name, but creative,
Yeah.
like, hey, we'll
Creative
sell
finance one.
creatively."
Yeah, yeah.
She says, "Oh, I can't." Why? Because my broker doesn't want to do that. And I'm like, okay. And then as I'm saying this about a month ago, I'm like, wait, I have three other properties in Memphis. I'm kind of looking at some creative, wrap type sales. Why don't I just freaking? That's what I called. That's when I called your
Right.
partner the other day. I'm like, I don't know how to put a wrap in here. um, but yeah, it's your product is unique in the fact that most of these realtors won't do what you're doing. They think
Yeah.
it's some kind of bad, omen or something. I don't know what's going on with that. But that's one thing I find is a lot of realtors are very behind the times. They are not trying to learn the new ways to do things or creative ways. They do not want to. They just want to get the commission and do it the way they've always done it.
Right,
Period.
right. That's the safe and tried and true version. Yeah,
Yeah.
and in many cases that works, but in many markets, in many economies, that doesn't, right? So then the solution for that is going this creative route.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think it's I'm small part owner.
Yes, you are.
um, but I'm watching it, and I'll promote it for you anyway. Absolutely right here. We're gonna do that for you.
Yeah,
So
that's
so
awesome.
tell
Thank you.
me, I cut you off earlier because I didn't want to spend your whole day, but now I'm interested.
hmm
Where's your portfolio now? How many doors do you have, and what are you doing with it?
Yeah, we actually decided to change gears on that. I think in our first year we grew to about 8 or 9 doors, and we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. It was a small quadplex, like among those. That was a long-term rental.
Was
With
that in Memphis?
No, that was
Okay. Okay. Good.
that was in Chicago. Yeah, in
Okay.
Memphis we had an Airbnb that we ended up selling because in Memphis we got robbed like twice. So yeah, lesson learned about Memphis. That's why
When you
it's
say when you
time to
say
go.
robbed, do you mean
Yeah.
like someone broke into the place and damaged it, or someone stole something, or you didn't get a good deal?
No, someone broke in twice.
Yeah. FYI, I had a vacancy in one of my properties in Memphis recently, and someone within the days of this house being vacant, before I can even get my crew back in there to fix some things that need to be fixed, they decided that their need for copper was more important than my need and my tenants' need for air conditioning. So what they did is they took my compressor outside, which I'm going to let you guys know. This is what I always get mad about government interference. Recently, January 1, there was a new law passed somewhere that I don't know about that changed all the refrigerant in refrigeration. So not only did they get the $800 unit outside stolen,
hmm
I also have to go inside and replace the coil because the new refrigerant is not compatible. So
Oh
now
wow.
my thousand, call it, with labor, $1,500
It
theft for someone getting copper, it's
Now
now
it
going to be
dropped, right?
$5,200.
Oh, okay. 52. Wow.
And now and so yeah, that can be Memphis.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah. Our
I tell
experience,
people all the time. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
our experience with Memphis was not great. That's why when you said Memphis, I was like, oh,
Well, the one thing I learned about Memphis, and this is a good example, talking about this. I don't know if everybody in the world needs to hear this, but I think it's a great example. You have to learn where to buy and where not to.
yeah.
And in my case, lots of people know me that because that's where I started. That I have Memphis, so that I get a lot of people sending me deals. A lot of people sending me deals. Memphis, you're in Memphis. Here's got some Memphis deals. I will tell you right now. When someone calls me or I see some, all I look at is the zip code. The minute the zip code is a zip code that I know I don't want, I don't even touch it. And there's a lot of zip codes in Memphis you don't want to be in.
Right.
So I don't know where your Airbnb was or your properties, but they're probably
I'll,
inside the circle.
I don't know exactly. I'll give you the zip code after that, and we can troubleshoot it.
Tell me the zip code now. I'll tell you. But yeah, we don't want to market that way. So, but yeah, I just think it's like I think Memphis is a good example that
Three
you have to
eight one
know.
zero seven.
Yeah, that's not one I would buy in.
Okay.
And again,
Well,
but
I
it's
wish I
just
had known you back then.
yeah, but I have that knowledge because I did it for a long time, right? And I talked to a lot of people and I did a lot of research to get there. But and that's by the way leads to another thing is we should always be talking to other people,
Oh yeah.
and I am not a tech guy. I cannot do social media for the life of me.
Look
As
at you with
my
two screens behind you saying you're not a tech guy.
Well, yes, but I got a Jake, my producer here, who helps me. I have a partner named Taylor who helps me with that stuff. I don't do that. I stick
Okay.
to my guns and go where I'm good at. So
Yeah.
I think we all have to know partner with the people who can do the things you don't want to do or can't do.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Can I ask you a question? Because I know that I'm very curious, and you said we're just having a conversation, right? Um, how did you get started with lending? Because I have a story with lending as well, but
Oh yeah.
I would love to hear from you. How did you get started there? Because in the spirit of keeping it simple, like if you have some money set aside, that seems like a good way to get started, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to give you a longer story, but how I started buying real estate in Memphis and in Ohio and in these different places from San Diego while I ran and while I still ran my insurance business. And everybody kept asking me, well, "You're doing what? You're buying in Memphis? Do you live? Have you ever lived there? No. Do you have any family there? No. Do you know anybody there? No. Just the people I've met
Like
through,
contractors, yeah.
yeah." And so I got so many questions when I was an insurance agent for my clients. They were all interested in doing what I did, and I never solicited them because that's not me. And they were my clients for insurance, not for anything else. So I wasn't.
Right.
But after I sold my business, I realized, wait, a lot of these people are asking me might be someone want to do business with me. Maybe I can figure out a way to I can be the guy who finds the deals in the right zip codes in Memphis,
Yeah, yeah.
and they can fund with me, and instead of me putting out $40,000 of property, maybe they put 30 and I put 10 or whatever the number is,
Hmm,
and I
hmm.
can buy more properties with less money out of my pocket. We can do this. So I started I'm an insurance agent for 27 years, okay? And I know what people think of insurance people, salesmen, crooks, whatever. I never sold in insurance. I never sold. I just did what I think is the right thing, which is you build relationships with people, gain their trust because you do the thing. And at some point they come back and go, I want to buy more.
Hmm.
And that's what I did. So the first time in my life, I was selling real estate because I'm not as a realtor, as a hey, come on, let's come join me, let's do this. Remember, you told me you're interested, and everybody kept turning me down. And I realized the people who are buying real estate are in a community. They want it. You can't drag people into that. And
Right.
so at some point, I was talking to a guy, and he says, yeah, I just don't want to have to deal with the real estate. And I said, I get it. I said, I'm lending money on this deal I started doing. I'm lending money. Would you be interested? And instantly his eyes perked up and he's like, what kind of returns? And I gave him the number, and I'm not going to talk numbers today, but he's like, I'm in. And that's how
So
how
they
I
just
was already
didn't want
lending my
to
own
deal with
money.
the, sorry, they didn't want to deal with the hassle, right? With the
They don't want to
tenants, with the
own. They don't want to
document.
deal with anything. They love the idea that in 10 years or 20 years or 30 years I'm going to own, but they
Hmm.
didn't want to do the work. No one wants.
Right.
Very few people want to do that work.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's easy. They don't. And so I just mentioned to the guy, yeah, I have this deal I'm lending money on. Would you be interested? And he said yes. And a week later, I ran across a deal that I didn't have enough of my own funds. And I called him and said, hey, come on in, let's do it. And he says, let's do it. And so I wait, that's freaking awesome. I just made double digit returns. I'll say that double digit returns on my money in a small amount of time. This is awesome. And so I started going that down the route, and I can create my. You have a W-2 for active income. I don't have that. I sold my business.
Hmm.
My real estate is passive. It's going to be the future, not the present.
Not the
How do I
today.
create an active income
Yeah. Hmm.
and help people? Do all the things I want. I want to help people. I want to grow their money with them. I want to partner with them. And then my thing is, I want all those people who are doing business with me already. I want them all to be my future partners on the big. For me, I like multifamily. I want them to be my partners on the big, 100-unit apartment complex that we're going to buy together. So to me, this is relationship building. This is what it is.
Right, right,
So
right. Yeah,
that's how I started.
that is very cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's partner. Let's figure out how to do some business together, man. I love it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also started doing some lending, mostly as a learning experience,
Yeah.
to
Me too.
to diversify from
Yeah.
when you're a W-2, especially in the tech world, it's just stocks, right? EFTs, crypto recently, it was
Yeah.
a few years ago, and real estate. Some people do it, but they do it like you said, like they're landlords, they own property, they deal with tenants and all that. Like that was That was what I knew, right? And then when I got into these communities and I learned about this thing called private money lending, then I was like, oh wait, you can get into real estate and be part of the game without the actual, you know, I'll call it grunt work, right? The work that people don't really want to do. Um, and
Yes and no.
yeah,
It's
you
not
still
that
have,
easy, but yeah, you know, there's good and bad, right? When you own a
yeah.
property, you get depreciation, and you got someone else basically paying off this mortgage that someday you're going to benefit from that. And there's lots of goods and bads of them from both. And when you're lending, there's no depreciation there. So,
There isn't. Yeah,
so
yeah. It's definitely
yeah,
it's a different play, right? It's
yeah,
more of an active income, more of today money type play rather than a long game. So yeah.
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 I tell you what, you and I both belong to a large we got, I mean, how do you say it? More elite. We belong to Owners Club, which is a smaller group of people. I think the reason why I joined the club is because I'm in the room with people who are doing more and bigger things like creative listings. I would never be in a room with that. So to me, that's why I'm in this group. And I telling someone the other day, I said, since I joined the Owners Club, I have I created a podcast. I would have never done that, and I'm not saying it's that hard. I just would have never done it. I
Hmm.
bought a 24 unit apartment complex with a partner. I would have
Hmm.
never done that. I wouldn't have had the chutzpah to go do that. I'm partners with actually Ingrid and my other friend Eric Richards
Hmm.
on a multi-use property. I own a whole bunch of other doors with him. I'm doing things that I would have never done because I'm putting myself in a room with people who are doing things, right?
Right.
And the only problem with that so far is that everything I'm doing is 2 years from now money, 3 years from now. And so the only thing I'm doing really that's active and that pays me my bills is my lending. And so talk about diversification though. I'm doing all those things, but I'm really doing one of them for today, one of them for next year, one of them for 3 years from now, and my whole portfolio is going to be 5 years from now or whatever the number is,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
That's
So, and
the
that's what I love about real estate. It's real, and I can touch it, and I can see the plan. It's just you have to just get there. Where real estate, or not real estate, I'm sorry, where stocks scare the living crap out of me
yeah.
because at least I know when I bought that property, someone could steal that air conditioning unit for the copper. I understand that.
Hmm.
Real, stocks they don't make sense to me. So
Yeah,
that's why I like real estate.
it's not even about making sense or not. Like even if you do understand that, I think what makes me like real estate, like I still have stocks, right? Like
Yeah, me too.
there's yeah, you want to have both, right? Or a bit from everything. But the thing about real estate, as you said, that it's real, and more than that, can you can identify what are the risks, what are the the factors that can set you back, that can affect your cash flow, that can affect your appreciation and so on. Whereas with stocks, it's like, oh, there's this new geopolitical thing that is happening somewhere else in the
Yeah,
world, right?
yeah. Wait,
Like the butterfly effect, right? The butterfly
yeah,
flapped its wings
yeah.
and now
The
it's
C,
trading
the
stock.
CEO was at a concert with his girlfriend, and his wife
Oh,
didn't
there you go.
appreciate it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, those are the kind of things that I totally agree. It's like, and the other thing is like with lending and with owning real estate. For me, there's a lot of pitfalls. By the way, I'm going to be quite upfront. I have lost money on lending. Not
So have
I've
I, yeah.
I've gained much more than I've lost, but I have there's a learning curve to all this, right?
Yeah.
You have to, and that's what Simple Life is actually about. All right, this is keep it simple. Sorry, my lending business is called Simple Life Investing,
Yeah.
and it's really about the fact that I'm saying, hey guys, you don't have to be the huge expert in this yet. I have I've done 100 plus loans. I've owned real estate for 5 years. I have 70 doors. I'm doing this, and you can come in and watch and learn with me because I've been down the road. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that not only are they going to be secured by a real piece of land with a structure on it, they're going to be secured by the underwriting that's been learned over time, right?
That's it.
And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of, for me, it's like it's not perfect. There's risk, but
Yeah.
it's, for me, it's more controllable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have more control over the variables, right? And there's
Absolutely.
a finite set. Whereas I think with all these other, not so palpable investment vehicles, the possibilities for risks are endless, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day, I told him, I said, yeah, I bought some silver and some gold a couple years back, and it's done really good for me.
mhm.
But I had no control over that.
Yeah,
None, zero. But now on the backside, I've done nothing. I literally bought it and put it in a safe.
right.
You know what I mean? So no work, and I got some profit, right? But
Mhm.
but it could have been the opposite direction.
Yeah,
So
yeah, true.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for coming on today. Thank you for talking. And again, this is just a
Thank you, man.
conversation, is exactly what I wanted. So I love that we just had a conversation.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
and
Me too.
I'm going to
It's
tell you a little secret about this.
all right. Tell me.
In the podcast is a long-term plan of
Mm-hmm.
mine. It's one of my goals. And my goals, I just want to meet people. I want to build relationships. And so if I can do that while I promote you in, creative listing or whatever you're doing next, I get to benefit you. I get to
Mm-hmm.
benefit me because I know you much more than I did 30
Yeah.
minutes ago, right? Hopefully you'll remember the conversation, and the next time I go into a room where and you know what, we're going to do this very soon, a room
Yeah.
where there's 300 people. I
Yeah.
don't like that room. It scares the living crud out of me, but I love it that I'm going to know someone else and be able to shake their hand and say hi, and you're my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love that. So that's why I'm doing this. It's just to put it out there. There's no other reason. Just build
Yeah. No,
relationships.
it's absolutely great that you're doing this, and that way I get to learn a bit more about you because we met at a meetup, we talked for a little bit, but
I mean, you didn't learn everything about me in that 400 person room with all that loud, and we had to scream at each other. That wasn't good.
when we're both out of without a voice.
Yeah, and yeah, we're both tired because we just want to go home and be with our family. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, exactly. No, this was
There we
this was
go.
very good. Thank you
There we
for
go. And
for
I
putting it.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Um, if we are going to go find you, and I know we could find your business at Creative Listings, and just literally that's the name of it. Just look it up. But
yeah.
where else could we find you? And what's the best way to do business with you?
Instagram is the best way to find me. Have the handle right there on the screen. We'll probably put it in the description and everything in all the right
It will be
places.
there.
Yeah.
There we go. Great. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I'll see
All
you
right.
in about 3 weeks or so.
See you in the new
Um,
year.
there is your wife going to be there?
No, unfortunately not. Not this time.
I'm
She's
super
great.
impressed that she took the bull by the horns like she did and
She
jumped
did.
in.
Yeah.
My wife's not interested in real estate, and her first thought is buy a house for us, not buy another rental. I'm like, no, we need to get another rental. And she's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a pretty good dynamic. I'm super grateful for her pushing me in this direction because
Absolutely.
it's been a good ride.
That's right. There you go. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Stay on for a second, okay?
All right.